Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Zoo. The minion with me this evening is Adam.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing grand. It is once again a Friday. I'm, of course, the keeper for the evening, Sanguine. So, how you doing, Adam?
I'm doing all right. Outside of these uh internet outages, so I apologize if I sound kind of odd. I'm running it through my phone because it seems to be the safest route. Otherwise, I'll get booted. Booty
See,
jet.
for me, I've been having more trouble with my phone recently than my internet connection. So, my
Well, I
computer
mean,
hasn't really crapped out as far as internet connection. But my phone constantly loses any sort of internet connection, regardless of how I try to set it up.
it's just odd because um there was the talk about the solar flares that were hidden, and so I mean, I'm chalking it up to that, you know.
Yep. And hello, Pop Tart. I saw you before I quickly stepped to toss the mushrooms that I have in a hot pan. How are things going with you, Poppy? But yeah, like I said, been having trouble with my phone connecting to shit recently, but my actual hardline connection that I have for my computer, absolutely no issues.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
That should be good.
it
So,
has.
uh,
Mhm.
I mean, it's been a while since I've asked, but what did you make for dinner?
Dinner tonight is I have a steak that was marinated with some matsutake show. Actually, no, I didn't use the matsutake. I used the smoked shoyu and garlic during the day that I've thrown into a water bath, so it's currently sous vide. Then I have rice that I've already made. It's sitting off to the side, just keeping warm. Now I have some sliced up asparagus, a lot of sliced up garlic, and sliced up mushrooms. And I'm going to be doing two sides. One's going to be the mushrooms with some garlic tossed in, hit with one sort of sauce. And then I'm going to pull those out, wipe out the pan, toss in the asparagus, let it get some char on it. Then add in a bit more butter, a bit more garlic, and a different sort of sauce for the asparagus before plating all of that up. And that'll be my dinner for the night. As well as I'll probably do two shoes of one of my sake, a Asahi, and then one of my Japanese whiskeys. I haven't decided which sake and which whiskey yet, though. So that is going to be my dinner, which will be absolutely delicious when it finishes. And yesterday I got to try my meat grinder that I got for Christmas for the first time, and oh good God, grinding my own meat so much better.
Actually, got a meat grinder. Hey, hold on. You know what? Actually, I gotta try, and I'm just gonna go ahead and risk it with the
Swapping back to the other device,
yeah, because I really don't like this phone setup.
copy that.
Um, so I I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Johnny, really only having a beer, nothing else to eat, just a beer. At least get something in your stomach, even if it's just toss a potato into an oven to roast for a bit and slap some butter on it. Go full Irish, potato and beer. But how are you doing in chat? I see that Poppy is making breakfast tacos for dinner. Oh, nice. And let me click Adam back in. Welcome back.
Okay. How's that?
I can hear you. You can hear me from the sounds of it.
Yep. Okay, much better. It feels much more comfortable. I don't think we should have any more, hey son, maybe stop with the stuffs.
I don't think that you want the sun to stop with its generation of energy. That would be rather bad for our entire solar system.
Well, yeah, that is pretty true.
See, at least boil a couple potatoes, Johnny. That's the right idea. Though, I would still say, rather than boil the potato, just toss it in some oil, toss it in some salt, and then throw it in an oven to bake. It'll be so much better. And I can definitely empathize
Not
with that.
bad.
Food can be delicious, but making it first thing in the morning before going anywhere kind of sucks. So when you have more time to make a really good breakfast meal, that's the best way of doing it. Because then you can do fancier stuff than you could for a morning breakfast. Because unless you're the first one up and you have some time before you have to go anywhere, you don't really have time to make pancakes or shit like that for breakfast. They'll probably be able to make some toast, make some bacon, make an egg, and you have to charge off. Whereas when it's for dinner, that's when you can do like Dutch babies, you can do pancakes and waffles and all kinds of good shit. And yeah, baked potatoes, hell of a lot better than boiled potatoes. Boiled potatoes have their place, but if you have the ability to bake a potato, bake the potato. It'll taste better. So, anything interesting that's happened on your end, Adam? Anything that you want to have a chat about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's the start of the weekend. The end of the weekday. No, I mean, can't say anything other than I was really interested in these solar flares that were supposed to, have a storm, and there was instances where you can see the northern lights out here, but it wasn't really anything that you could take a picture of.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my area. So I was kind of bummed about that, but
I can definitely understand that. Yeah, the northern lights are absolutely beautiful when you can see them. But also, you're right near the city, so you have a lot of light pollution, which is
yeah.
a pain in the ass because then you can't really see as much.
And apparently, Chicagoland area has been rated pretty bad in the atmosphere, like the kind of like what California had with the smog.
Well, it is Chicago.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, but you didn't think it'd be as bad as California, or
I don't know.
specifically.
When I went to California, all the fish I saw were normal. One of the times that I went to Chicago, I saw what I can only describe as a giant mutant goldfish eating other fish.
Well, that's not our fault. That's Wisconsin's fault.
I don't know. It was right in the middle of your fucking city.
Those fish tend to migrate down south for the winter.
It wasn't in winter when this happened.
Oh, I mean for the summer.
Normally it's the other way around with that. But yeah, like I said, fucked up mutant goldfish eating fish. So, not really surprised that Chicago isn't exactly the cleanest of areas, shall we say.
Well, I'm just surprised with the air pollution.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, it's ridiculous how bad the air can get in certain areas, but at least nowhere in the U.S. does it get anywhere near as bad as Chinese air pollution. Good fucking God.
Yes, exactly.
And we're improving our air quality as time goes on, unlike what's happening with Chinese air quality. Because the smog in California was really bad back in the 80s and 90s, and it's really gotten a hell of a lot better since the early aughts. And it's continuing to get better as we go to different ways of producing shit that put off less gases, and we improve our way of scrubbing the gases that we do release back into the air, rather than just this fire from the coal plant. Let's just pump that into the air. No filtration, nothing like that. Just straight into the air. Fuck it. Let's go. Full set.
Dude, full clip.
Yep. Just full send all of that crap into the air, which is what used to happen. That's why the air got so shit. Because we did pretty much fuck all in order to keep the air from becoming shit. We just sent everything straight up, didn't really filter it, didn't really do anything. Now we have all sorts of filters on our power plants and on anything else that produces pollution. It's just stacks full of different filters to scrub the air of certain things. Though there are certain elements that were concerning. I remember back when I was in high school, as part of an AP science class, went to one of the local power plants that was producing power by burning garbage. Since we need to get rid of the garbage anyways, and this way we got energy out of it rather than just sticking it in a landfill. And I asked a question to the person that they said was the plant chemical engineer, and he gave me a terrifying response. Do you want to hear what the question and response was?
Yeah.
So the question was, how do you guys account for the hydrogen cyanide that's released when you burn certain plastics and styrofoam? The response was, the what now? Which is concerning.
Hold on. I'm sorry. What did he say?
The what now?
The what now?
Yes.
What the fuck?
I was expecting when I asked that question for them to go, we have this way of scrubbing that out, and we have this way of dealing with that. But the concerning part was, the answer to the question was, the what now? What do you mean? Yeah, I don't think we have anything to deal with that. Let's move on. Which, like I said, more than slightly concerning when it comes to that. And for those of you who don't know, that's one of the reasons why you're told not to burn plastics and not to burn styrofoam. It's because they produce nasty things, like every time that you burn styrofoam and every time that you burn certain types of plastics, there's a certain percentage of that is hydrogen cyanide.
Hold on, wait. There's people who burn styrofoam.
Oh, it used to be a common thing. That's the reason why there's now all kinds of shit saying don't burn this. Because it was a fairly common thing that when you were throwing together a burn pit or something like that, you'd throw in your old plastic and your old styrofoam that you were trying to get rid of because, well, it burns really easy. So it helps the burn pit start up and stay lit. People didn't know that when you did that, it released a shit ton of poisonous chemicals. So they were doing it. Then we found out that that's a really bad idea, and that's when all of the do not burn this started being stamped on plastics and styrofoam. Did you not know about that?
Ooh, sizzle, sizzle. No, I did not know about this, but I will say that I can kind of understand if people are dealing with new product, they may just treat it like older product,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, oh, hey, we had these cardboard boxes or plates,
Yep.
and now we have these styrofoam boxes or plates. And then, it's the same thing. Yeah, just fucking toss it in the bonfit.
Yep, because the cardboard burns really nice and the plastic burns really nice too. The problem is that cardboard, when you do that, unless it has a really nasty guy, it's perfectly fine. There's no issue with you burning cardboard like that. Plastic, it'll release a hell of a lot of really nasty chemicals, which, like I said, that's the reason why a lot of plastics are now stamped with don't burn, and why everyone is taught not to burn plastic when you're going camping with an organization like the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts. They'll tell you whatever you do, don't throw that shit in the fire.
I don't know about the Girl Scouts, but I believe the Scouts are now called the Scouts of America.
Yeah, they're going through that bullshit. It's the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Well, I don't care who they call themselves. They better deliver me my Samoa cookies because I do enjoy a nice coconut and chocolate.
That was the one thing when I was a Boy Scout, I was always jealous of the Girl Scouts for. The Girl Scouts got the cookies. Do you know what the Boy Scouts sold?
Chocolate bars.
Oh, you got chocolate bars?
Yeah.
Shit, you guys got the good shit. We got popcorn.
Popcorn?
Yep.
How in the hell are you
We
going to
sold popcorn. Or rather, popping corn.
Popping? Oh, so you sold the kernels?
Yes. It
wasn't
popcorn, it was popping corn. So we would go door to door and set up shop in different locations, asking people if they wanted to buy popcorn from us.
Dude, hey, do you want to buy some of these corn kernels? And hopefully you have oil and the machine to properly cook this shit. I mean, well, I guess, oil on a pan and,
We also sold microwave packs. But
okay.
At the same time, again, it was fucking popcorn. Versus ridiculous goddamn cookies that are just crack.
Yeah, dude, let's be honest. The cookies are pretty good.
Yeah, their cookies, absolutely ridiculous. Everyone loves their cookies. Everyone looks forward to Girl Scout cookie season. No one looks forward to Boy Scout fucking popcorn season.
I mean, maybe now there might be a market for like artisan popcorn kernels.
The thing was, it wasn't even particularly amazing popcorn. It was just basic bitch popcorn. It was always a, well, okay. So we had the better camping trips. They had the better product. Since again, their Girl Scout cookies beat the shit out of Boy Scout popcorn. Especially since you can't really get cookies like Girl Scout cookies other than from the Girl Scouts. You can get just basic fucking Orville Redenbacher microwave popcorn, and it will be as good as the Boy Scout popcorn.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much like, hey, I can get a brisk iced tea, or I can go and get this fucking lemonade from this lemonade stand. You know what the hell?
And again, the lemonade from the lemonade stand, normally lemonade stands tend to have pretty legit lemonade. It wasn't lemonade from the lemonade stand. It was, you can get a specific item that you can only get from us, or we can give you a bottle of water. Is that bottle of water a special bottle of water? No, it's like Poland Springs.
Pulling Springs.
Poland Springs, the really cheap bottles of water.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like I said, the
You
Boy
get
Scout,
microplastics in that though.
yeah, probably get them in the Boy Scout popcorn as well. Boy Scout popcorn's bullshit.
You get microplastics in the popcorn.
Probably, it's bullshit. It is not a good popcorn. Like I said, it's not like it's, oh, this is a special type of popping corn or anything special. It is, you can get the same or better quality popping corn by just going to your grocery store and getting Orville Redenbacher popping corn. So it's one of those, I don't get why we were selling it. It wasn't anything that stood out. Whereas the Girl Scouts, their cookies. Everyone knows their cookies. Their cookies are amazing. And you can only get their cookies from them.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, I do like, I don't know whatever they're calling them now, but I like the Samoas and I like the fucking Thin Mints.
Mm-hmm.
No. Boop.
It's, like I said, just, yeah. No one seems to know that Boy Scouts sold popcorns, but it was always popcorn season. Was the Boy Scout thing. That was partially how the Boy Scouts are funded, which makes no fucking sense because it was a bastard to sell any popcorn. Girl Scout cookies fucking sell themselves.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's, you know, it's like crack.
Mm-hmm.
You're already hooked. You know you're gonna come back for the fucking peanut butter cookies. Don't kid yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'll shoot you an invite, Poppy. And
What other cookies do they have? It's just pretty much Thin Mints, peanut butter, and the Samoas, right?
let me quickly pull up a full list. Give me 1 second. Just shooting off that invite to Pop-Tart.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of popcorn, if there is one thing that I like popcorn, right? I like buttered popcorn. A reasonable amount. Not where it's like soggy type of stuff. But the one thing of popcorn that I don't like is popcorn, the jelly bean popcorn. Have you ever had those jelly bean? Like I think it was Jelly Belly makes them.
Oh, when they did the popcorn flavored jelly beans?
Oh my god, those things are horrific.
Yep. And I have the full list of Girl Scout cookies pulled up.
Yeah, let's
So their cookies are as follows: the Adventure Folds, which that's one that I hadn't known of. They're apparently a brookie, so a brownie cookie, that is topped with caramel cream and a bit of sea salt. Then you have their caramel chocolate chip cookies, their caramel delights.
Caramel delights.
Yeah, the caramel or caramel, depending on how you want to pronounce it, delights. The Docitos, those are their peanut butter sandwich cookies. The Girl Scout s'more, so it's graham cracker chocolate and marshmallow fluff.
Hi, Poppy.
Hey.
That sounded weird. Hi, Poppy. I didn't want to say like, hi, Poppy. Like, okay. Sorry,
yeah, I'm not a finished older man, but just like a side tangent. When I used to work, there's a restaurant down here called Fuddruckers. I don't know if it's everywhere, but we used to work there, and we had an older Spanish man that worked in the kitchen. And if we walked in and said, "Ay, papi," he'd give us a free breakfast burrito. So,
wait, I get a free breakfast burrito?
Yeah, all the girls just had to say like "Hi, Poppy" or "I, Poppy," and he would give you breakfast burritos. Oh, pervy man, you got I got free food though. So.
Continue with your.
Their lemonades, which are lemon flavored shortbread cookies with a tangy lemon flavored icing. Their lemon ups, they have 2 lemon cookies. I didn't know that they had 2 lemon cookies. The lemon ups are just lemon flavored cookies.
I like both of them.
Yep. I didn't know that they had 2. I knew that. I think I've had their lemon ups before. I don't think I've had their lemonades, or I've had their lemonades and haven't had their lemon ups. One of the 2 I haven't had. But then there's their peanut butter patties, their tagalongs, which are the chocolate-covered peanut butter ones. Their Thin Mints, the Toast Yay, which is a toast-shaped cookie full of French toast flavors and dipped in icing.
Is that a new thing?
I think that's a new one.
I was gonna say, like, that sounds like one of those, like, yeah, we got cinnamon toast crunch type of stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm. Then they have Toffee-tastic, which is a cookie with toffee bits in it. And then their classic trefoils, which are their standard shortbread cookies.
Yeah, we just had a lot of Girl Scout cookies not that long ago because Angel's boyfriend's mother buys like 200 boxes every time they're out and then just passes them out to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I know people go crazy over the Thin Mints. I'm not really big on most chocolate and mint things.
The things I would do for a lifetime supply of Thin Mints.
Like I like Andes, the that kind of chocolate mint, but I'm not into most of it.
What about like freezing the Thin Mint?
Oh, those are delicious. Frozen Thin Mints are amazing. When I got Girl Scout cookies the last time I was able to, it was during the polar vortex.
Just set them outside.
Oh, I left boxes in my car. So I was working at the prison at the time, and I would come out of the prison on my break. I'd go to my car, I'd open up the back, pull out a thing of Thin Mints, and just start noshing down on frozen Thin Mints. They're amazing.
Dude, yeah, during that whole freeze over thing, the power went out in Texas and all that good shit. Everybody in the household was freaking about what we're going to do about our food since the power was only coming on for like 30 minutes at a time at most and then going back out. And I was like, put it outside. Just stick it on our porch. Put it in a box or a tub and stick it on the porch. It's fucking freezing outside. At most, you'll have like frozen bologna, but it'll still be good.
It's kind of like, I think it's in Mongolia during the winter. They do the ice coolers. Have you guys seen those videos?
Oh yeah, I've seen one of those where they make the cooler out of ice.
Yeah, they make the cooler entirely out of ice, and then they just shove all their food in it for the winter. And they'll go out, grab shit out of their ice cooler, stick the lid back on top. But yeah, the entire thing is made out of ice. And they have this whole process of how to get them shaped how they want them. Some of them just make large rectangular slabs and they do a rectangular cooler. I've seen one where effectively they're making ice urns almost, where they'll get a urn mold that comes in two halves. They'll stick that down, they'll fill it with water, and then stick like an inflatable bladder inside. Let the ice freeze into the shape of the urn, split the mold in half, pull out this ice urn, set it down, deflate the bladder, and then just start filling the ice urn and put a slab on top as a lid. But yeah, that's a classic way of keeping things fresh in cold enough environments. Just slap it in an ice chest.
I know people think I'm crazy, but I would much rather the power go out in winter than in summer.
Oh yeah.
There's so many things I can do and buy to help during the winter, but during summer you're just hot. There's no way to keep your food fresh. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's always so much you can do to cool down.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do to cool down. In order to heat up, you can put on more clothing, you can light a fire, you can
cuddle, big blankets.
You can cuddle up. Yeah, there's all kinds of shit that you can do. Yep.
We even bought like these, the instant heat packs, like instant cold packs.
Yep.
Bought a big box of those. You just crack them open, throw them under the blanket with you.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of ways of staying warm. Once you get to the point where you're naked, there's not really much more that you can do to cool down. If you're naked sitting in front of a fan already, that's pretty much as you can do without having AC or something of that like.
And I really hate being hot. Really, I live in a bad place for it, but I really hate being hot.
Oh yeah, it's one of the things that if it weren't for the heat of Texas, I kind of want to move to Texas.
Yeah, summer sucks.
But the heat. I get pissed off with Minnesota with how hot it gets during winter, or during summer rather, because Minnesota, you know how it's called the land of 10,000 lakes?
Yeah.
They fucking lie. Because it is, in Minnesota, there are over 40,000 named lakes. 40,000. And then you go for the unnamed lakes, and you're going way the fuck up above 40,000. So when it gets hot in Minnesota, it gets to like fucking Louisiana levels of humidity.
Oh yeah, I get you. We our city, you know, a big ass river runs right through it, and yeah, when it's like 110 outside, it's like walking out into soup.
Yep.
It's just you open the door and it just hits you in the face.
If the percent humidity in the air went up any more, you would drown taking a breath. Style humidity.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you gotta kind of wipe everything down because it's covered in water.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
When I was working at the prison, we had a heat wave come through one of the years, and the walls of the prison started crying, was the best way to express it.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of humidity in the air from all the water in the fucking state. And all the people in the prison, because you exhale water every time that you exhale. So the prison would bake like an oven during the day. Then it would hit nighttime. And as everything started to cool down, the walls would take a while to cool down. But once it hit a certain temperature, all the walls started to cry, the floor started to sweat. It was disgusting.
Yeah, sounds it. Yeah, no, I mean, I got like, you know, emergency stuff because I'm one of those people. Like, I overthink everything. So we got like a fire camp, but wood burning stove in case anything happens like that again, and you know, candles and all that good shit, and emergency food and all that good shit. And but like for summer, there's just not a lot you can prep for.
Yeah, like I said, once you're naked sitting in front of a fan, that's about as cool as you can get.
Yeah, there's like spray bottles you can put water in and shit, but I mean, like.
Yep, and the only way that you can really get cooler than that is if you go for the alcohol bath method.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can fill it up with the rubbing alcohol and spray yourself.
Yep.
But they say don't do that.
Wait, you fill your bathtub full of alcohol and then you go yippee-ki-yay, or?
Oh,
Yeah, like rubbing alcohol makes you feel cold when it's on your skin, so a lot of people will put rubbing alcohol all over themselves to cool off.
it's evaporative cooling. So as you put liquid rubbing alcohol on, that liquid rubbing alcohol starts to heat up from your body. Your body temperature is enough to cause that alcohol to evaporate. But it has to absorb heat from you to get to the point that it can evaporate. Then it evaporates, cooling you off.
But your skin does absorb stuff, so if you do that enough, you can really mess up your system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It dries out your skin.
Yeah, it can cause problems. So you're really not supposed to do it, but if you're desperate, people do it. But like, yeah, your skin, people don't really know a lot about skin. So there's a lot of people who don't know your skin absorbs oxygen and like moisture and stuff. So if you're spraying alcohol directly on your skin over and over and over, yeah, it's not good for you.
Yep. Yeah, it ends up with you, first off, have a shit ton of alcohol fumes in the air, which that can cause problems.
Yeah.
Properly ventilated. not only that, it dries the ever-living hell out of your skin. It kills pretty much all of the flora and fauna that's supposed to reside on your skin. Yes, there's things that live on your skin. Yes, they are called flora and fauna, just like flora and fauna of an ecosystem where it's...
And they're supposed to be there.
They're supposed to be there. It's bad when they die off.
Yes, it's very bad for your health.
And there's all kinds of issues that happen when they die off in too large of a number. That's when you end up with a shit ton more skin infections and shit like that. And more skin infections means more infections that can get into your body.
MRSA.
Yep.
Yeah.
And MRSA's nasty when it gets into your body. It's not brilliant when it's a topical infection, but topical infections don't really do much. It is mainly when it gets into your body. And when it gets into your body, ooh, that is awful. Because one of the things that MRSA can do is it can cause necrotizing disorders.
Yep. Dude, you're working healthcare. You don't want to hear C. diff, MRSA, or bed bugs. Jesus.
Though it's something like 70% of healthcare workers have endemic MRSA or endemic topical MRSA now. So that means that it is always there and just normal.
Yeah. But yeah, just back on the getting away from the gross medical stuff, because I know not everyone likes to hear that. We're very used to it. Like me and you could probably have some really disgusting conversations and be cool with it, but I don't think everybody else is. Because I know you worked in healthcare, I worked in healthcare. We could tell horror stories with each other back and forth for a while and be cool.
Oh, yeah. I worked in healthcare and then I worked in a prison.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to talk about shit that most people are going,
Yeah. I'm a mother and I worked in healthcare for 20 years, so yeah. Woo. But no, like I keep trying to figure out ways to stay cool during the summer that won't like fuck you up. I haven't. Not a lot. There really isn't. Yeah, I mean, instant ice packs. But if it's like fucking 115 outside. Sorry, I keep cursing. The ice packs don't even stay cold for long.
Poppy, you fucked with me enough. You should know. Cursing is not an issue when I'm on.
Oh yeah, hey, this is a family show.
God, I hope no one's letting their kids watch this show.
Yeah, don't have your fucking kids watch this show.
I got all 6 of my kids watching this show.
Even when my kids were younger, I didn't let them start watching the show until they were at least 15, and sometimes not even then. It depended on who was hosting.
How old did they have to be in order to watch when I was hosting?
15 was pretty good. Like, you do talk about some scientifically disgusting things, but they were raised with me, so they already knew them.
Fair enough.
And then a lot of cooking stuff. So, You weren't that bad. Now it depended on who you had on too.
Oh yeah.
Like if it was just like certain people, it was like, yeah, it's fine. You can listen in with me. If it was, there was a couple people where I'm like, nah, there might be a lot of sex shit coming up. Let's just go. You have to leave the room.
This is gonna get weird. You aren't allowed to listen tonight.
Yeah. I mean, you know what a train wreck it was when I was hosting. It was funny, but you never knew what the fuck was going to happen. So I had to make everyone behave whenever the kids would come in the room and talk to me or want to talk to them and stuff. I'm like, if you get inappropriate, I will kick you off the show right now, okay? My daughter is like 12. We're not messing her up that bad yet, okay? Yeah, everybody's coming.
Just to respond to something that Adam asked earlier, because I realized we didn't mention it. When it comes to the alcohol baths, that's a method that's used in healthcare when someone's in a hyperthermic crisis. Hyper meaning above, thermic meaning temperature. So high temperature crisis.
If you're having like a heat stroke or something, they throw you in an alcohol bath.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I had a different.
Yeah, you were thinking like Jack Daniels, but
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. Hey, yeah, toss me in there. But yeah, hey, I mean, if I'm suffering such an affliction, yeah, toss me in there as well.
Don't go boofing Jack Daniels.
but yeah, no, everybody's coming down for Mother's Day on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah, it's on Sunday.
Oh, well, happy
Thank you
Mother's
for
Day
reminding
to
me,
all.
because I would have forgotten that.
It's a good thing to have moms around sometimes. Yes, you should call your parent if you have mothers. Call your mothers on Sunday at least,
Yeah, let them know you love them.
or else you will hear about it for the rest of the year.
I would have completely forgotten, because that's normally one of the days when she's not able to chat on the phone.
If you can't talk on Sunday, call her up on Saturday and be like, "Happy early Mother's Day."
I'm going to call on Sunday, because it's Tuesday, Sunday, then it's fine to call. But if it's a normal Sunday, then it's typically, oh yeah, I can only talk for like 5 minutes, because if I talk for longer.
And if anyone's mother is in Mexico, if anyone's mother is in Mexico, I'm sorry, you're already too late. That was today. Mexican Mother's Day is on the 10th.
Oh. Why do they have theirs different than?
I don't know. For the United States, it's the second Sunday of every May, and for Mexico, it's always on the 10th of May.
Ah.
So sometimes they come together. Sometimes, it just depends on the calendar. But for some reason, the United States does a lot of things on us, like Thanksgiving's always on the third Thursday.
Yeah, it's never on a set date.
Yeah, and Father's Day is the second Sunday of any June. So I don't know why we do shit that way, but it always Easter is always moving around. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Thanksgiving. There's so many holidays that people are confused on when it's supposed to happen, because we have it set to a certain day, not a date, which is kind of dumb.
At the same time, it means that pretty much everyone always gets Mother's Day off.
Yeah, that is true.
Whereas if you
unless
had
you work Sundays.
Yep. Unless you work Sundays. But if it was on the 10th, there's a lot more chance that more people won't have it off than having it always on a Sunday.
That is true. I don't really have to worry about that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like one of the best Mother's Day I have, it was when I was at work. Because I work nights. I came home from work and all the kids in the house had cleaned the whole house. Or they were at the end of cleaning when I came home, and they're like, "You came home too soon." And I'm like, "I came home on time." and they had made me a cheesecake that was sugar-free and carb-free, and it had flowers and presents out and stuff, and it was really cute. So they spent all night setting it up.
Very nice. And originally when you said there were flowers, I thought you were still talking about the cheesecake, and I'm going, oh, so it was like a rose petal cheesecake? That works.
No, it was just a plain cheesecake, but it was still really nice since they put thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a homemade cheesecake, especially to have it where a diabetic can eat it, that's really nice.
Yep. Like I said, I was just, when you first said, yeah, there were flowers, I was still thinking about the cheesecake, and I'm going, oh,
yeah,
there are edible flowers. So that
well, we haven't done that with cheesecakes, but we have made like lavender cupcakes and cookies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like put rose petals into things. So we do edible flowers sometimes, but no, not on that cheesecake, because Chris doesn't do that. Chris is the one that baked the cheesecake. He does not like putting flowers into food. Chris is very texture based.
Mm.
So we figured this out because Chris thought he hated a lot of foods before he got with me, and and it turns out he will eat a lot of foods. He's just very big on textures. So like he used to tell people he was allergic to onions because he hated onions. It's not that he hates the flavor of onions; it's the texture of cooked onions.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's like he'll eat onions, but only if I make them.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, you're really good at hiding it. Yeah, he's like, you're really good at hiding it. Like, I don't notice it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, because I just figured out it was a texture thing for you. And now I try to figure out how to work that in without messing with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, he had no idea he had a sensory disorder until I explained it to him.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like how I, for the most part, hate cooked carrots because carrots are supposed to crunch, not mush. And most people, when they make cooked carrots, they kind of mush.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about that a long time ago. I thought I hated all squash and stuff like that because my family boiled everything.
Yep. But if you cook carrots so that they're still crunchy, which is something that I've taken to doing, I'll occasionally do roast carrots, and I just make sure that I give them a good roast so that they get that crunch from the roast. Oh, they're delicious. It's just when it was that slight bit of mush, or worse, complete mush. It was, This is disgusting. Why is this? No, get this out of my mouth. I don't like this.
Yeah, that taste and that texture are not supposed to go together. Mm-hmm. No, I get you on that. I hate a lot of, like, not totally all mushy foods because I love mashed potatoes, but I don't know. It's like a weird mushy, slimy texture. I can't stand slimy.
There are foods that are supposed to mush. There's foods that aren't supposed to mush. And a food that is not supposed to mush is mushy. That's horrible. If a food that's supposed to mush is not mushy, that's horrible.
Yeah. Potatoes seem to work in any form.
Yeah, but potatoes, even when they're supposed to be crunchy potatoes, they're supposed to be crunchy to a point, and then they're supposed to have that kind of mush. If I bit into a potato and it was like biting into an apple, that would be a bad sign.
Yeah. But my texture, everybody in my household has a different texture aversion. Mine is even slightly slimy. Like, I don't like bananas. I have a blind hatred for Jell-O. Like, it's not a solid, it's not a liquid, it's not a gas, it's not, and it's weird, it's jiggly and slimy. No, fuck that shit. That's a devil dessert.
Well, okay, so what about Jell-O with like fruit in it?
No.
Is that even worse?
The only time I'm somewhat okay with Jell-O, I've realized, is when I'm drunk and you're doing Jell-O shots. Like, I can't start off with Jell-O shots, but if I'm already drunk, I will do way too many Jell-O shots.
Well, I mean, Jell-O shots, in all fairness, I mean, it's a shot, so.
Yeah, and I don't even have it in my mouth. It just goes straight down the back of my neck, so I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. So, if you ever happen to go to Japan,
whoa, wait, hold on, wait, Poppy, do you like boba?
No.
No.
My kids love it. I don't.
Yeah, no. I was offered a boba tea.
You were offered a pet monkey? And you didn't take the pet monkey?
Boba the monkey.
I'm shocked. I would have sworn you would have taken the pet monkey.
But they kept saying it's like, oh, dude, it's just tapioca, and it's like, no, I don't know. I don't like that taste.
Yeah, no, it is tapioca pearls, but I don't like it. Now, they have a kind where they do popping pearls. I don't mind that as much.
Wait, what?
Popping pearls. It's like full with juice.
Yeah,
it's not slimy.
Juice? Yeah, it's
juice.
So
you are not selling me on this. We went from
juice.
Juice. Oh, juice. Like,
Juice.
oh, juice. Like,
juice.
juice. Like
Not the
Like
ones
what?
that ended up in camps, but the sort that you squeeze out of fruit.
Okay, there you go.
Jesus. I know I don't talk
No, that
correctly,
was the
but
one that
juice.
ended up on the cross. He's entirely different as well.
No,
But yeah, popping pearls are just like a little shell that has like liquid in it, and I can handle those. The actual tapioca pearls that are like overboiled and giant, I know. It tastes weird and it feels weird. I do not enjoy it. My kids love it. They do those all the time. I'm not.
The popping pearls are spiritualized juice. Which, yes, that is actually the term, spiritualized.
Hmm. But yeah, no. So there's one kid who can't stand crunchy food, like even fried foods, like chicken nuggets and shit, which is so weird for autism. But you know, it is what it is. Um, one can't do mushy. Chris, we haven't fully figured out. We don't know. Like Chris won't do frozen or fresh vegetables really, but he loves canned vegetables.
Oh,
You know, he has like so I think it's just stuff he's used to from when he was growing up.
so he likes them on the soft side.
Yeah. He says they taste weird and feel weird when I do frozen vegetables. So if I like back in the day, I would post pictures on there once in a while when I was cooking, and like if it was one of the days I was doing asparagus or Brussels sprouts or something, because I don't boil Brussels sprouts. That's my you know, if I was doing something like that,
You
I would
roast those
also
little bastards with bacon, and they're delicious.
would saute them with Parmesan.
Yep, that's another way of doing it. Also,
Yeah.
if you add in bacon, they're even more delicious.
Yeah.
no. Oh, can we agree that Parmesan and bacon would be pretty good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I just said.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put actual bacon in there, but if you can cook it with some bacon grease and put it on there.
Oh, bacon grease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All you gotta do is make some bacon in the morning, and by the time you're making dinner, just throw it in the pan, and you know.
Yep. Or you can do it with the actual bacon in it, or you can do it with the bacon sprinkled on top. So you cook the bacon up, then you take the bacon out, you crumble that up, and then throw the Brussels sprouts straight into the bacon grease, and you cook them up in that. Oh, those are good.
But yeah, when I would make stuff like that, I would have to make a can of veggies for like Chris and Homer because they didn't want to eat the not canned veggies I was making.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that people don't think about. Oh, yeah, some people might have a textural issue with this. And they just think, oh, I don't like the flavor, rather than, oh, no, I love the flavor. It's everything that comes with the flavor is the part that's grossing me out.
I just looked at chat and realized that, you know, people are talking in there.
Yep. Let's see. What have they been saying in chat?
Oh, they asked a question if I was drinking the Jello, and then I answered that without looking, and they were like, "Oh, never mind." You
Nice.
answered my question. I don't know what he was saying. Sounds like an STD though. I'm a little curious.
That was the endemic MRSA, topical MRSA, where I mentioned that 70-something% of most of healthcare workers, not most healthcare workers, 70-something% of healthcare workers now have endemic topical infections. So it's just a normal thing that you find on their skin. It's not after a recent exposure. It isn't something that really comes and goes. It's just, yeah, they have MRSA living on their skin constantly now, and it's just part of their flora and fauna.
Oh. And then we got an oh my god, and I don't know why either.
Yeah, what was the oh my god about?
I don't know. Apparently, Like every country has Mother's Day on a different day, man.
Oh. Did you pull up the list of when Mother's Days are?
I can't pull up anything on Google right now without getting kicked off the stream. And you told me if I keep doing that, I'm not allowed on anymore. So, so I don't touch my phone hardly at all either, except to look for chat. And I'm a little iffy on that because I'm still scared because occasionally it kicks me off for that too. I'm on my phone, you know. But he was saying in his country that it's on the 30th.
Oh, okay.
What country is that?
I am bad at speaking, but you can look at a chat.
Nicaragua.
Yep. If I try to say that, I'm going to stutter so many times, and we don't want to go there. So.
Yep. It is one of the more difficult nations to pronounce, just because it goes from the C sound to immediate, very hard G.
Also, I'm just really bad at saying words that I don't say very often. So, like, and people get insulted, like when I'm trying to say names or countries or something, and I have a really hard time saying it. They always get, mad, and I'm just like, I have a communication issue. Okay, the fact that I speak English at all is very impressive. I know you don't know this, but.
See, I was expecting you to come back with the bitch. My state is bigger than most of your countries.
No, it literally is just it took me till I was 6 to, start talking in sentences to people.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I just did sign language and, words.
Mm-hmm.
No. People should just appreciate that I'm translating into English nowadays. They don't, but.
Yeah. There's something that I find amusing every time I see it. There's a constant, Americans are so poorly traveled. They don't understand what the rest of the world is about. And then every now and then, there's someone that came from another country that will go, no. Let me explain to you why they are poorly traveled. Because they have states that are larger than several nations put together.
Yep.
So, in the UK, it's fairly normal for you to go on holiday. And you'll go on holiday to France, or you'll go on holiday to Germany, or to some other nation. You'll pick a nation that you want to go on holiday to, and you'll go there. Because it's a different climate, it's a different culture, it's a different cuisine. What you don't understand is that Americans can do that entirely in America.
And it'll still take a long time to do.
Yeah, and they can travel as far or farther without leaving America than someone in Europe going to different countries, or someone in Asia going to different countries.
There's also it's more expensive for us, and also we have a very big work culture, which a lot of other countries don't get. We don't really get a lot of vacation time that we actually take.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, taking off enough time to travel over to Europe or China or something and all that, normal average people aren't really doing that. You're trying to pay your bills. So
it's a once every few years deal for anyone that is
if at all
upper middle class, and it is a if at all, because again, when you can opt to travel every couple of years within the US, or once every 5 years out of the US, a lot of people go, you know what, if I want to see a nice beach, I can go to any of these states and see a really nice beach. If I want to get really amazing food, I can go to any of these locations and get really amazing food. Oh, I want to get food of this specific culture, where is the largest segment of that culture living in the United States? I'll go there, and I'll
Yeah.
get food.
Now, a lot of people want to do like all 50 states before they start going to other countries, but that can take a long time to, do every single state, especially like if you're counting like Alaska and Hawaii and stuff. I mean, for people like me, I've only been to one other state. It was Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never been anywhere else. It's Texas and then Oklahoma a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I saw the bear.
With the U.S., you can literally go to every...
Hold on, wait. You've never seen a coast?
No, I haven't even been to Galveston. I've never seen the ocean at all.
Oh,
Texas
okay.
has a coast,
Well, I'm talking about ocean coast.
I've never
Texas has an
seen.
ocean coast. Just she hasn't been to it, but Texas does have an ocean coast.
Yeah. Well, the Gulf, and a lot of people don't consider the Gulf part of the ocean, but it is.
What the fuck else would it be? It's a contiguous body of water joined to the ocean.
A lot of people don't consider the Gulf part. I mean, we don't have like great beaches here, but we have beaches here. But I haven't even been to them. So no. The biggest body of water I have seen is a lake and a river.
Wow.
But yeah, there's... In the United States, it's possible to go to just about every type of biome without leaving the United States.
Yeah. Got deserts, mountains, oceans, islands.
The only one that is difficult is finding a tropical rainforest.
Hey, okay. Well,
Yeah.
is there a tar pit in another place outside of California?
Yes.
Where?
Yeah, there's tar pits.
Oh, damn.
There's tar pits all over the place.
We got geysers, we got tar pits, we got, canyons, we got, I mean, the United States is so big and it spans over so many time zones and everything. We have a lot of different terrains and events and everything. I mean, we got volcanoes, not really active ones, but we got them. I mean, well, in Hawaii, there's very active ones. So, yeah. We got like everything.
We have, of course, two famous ones in California.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go outside the U.S., then there's one in Azerbaijan. There's one in Trinidad and Tobago that are famous. And let's see, what other locations? Those are some of the biggest and most famous. But there's also Peru, Ecuador, Cuba, a lot of U.S., Ukraine, Venezuela.
Yeah, people outside of the United States don't really understand like how it is to travel here, because like I've had people from other countries be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be like in Tennessee. I could probably come down and see you," and I'm like, "No, no." Or even just coming to Texas, they're like, "I'm gonna be in Houston. You can come see me," and I'm like, "That's very far from where I am. I don't know if I'm up to like a 4-hour drive or a 6-hour drive,
Because again, people don't get how obscenely large the U.S. is.
Yeah.
Since if you're going to Europe, you can go through several countries in a 4-hour drive in most of Europe. In the U.S., there's more states that you would still be inside of if you're doing a 4-hour drive than there are states that you can drive entirely through.
Well, the thing that helped me understand it is understanding that the word country and state used to be kind of interchangeable back in the day. So it was basically the United Countries of America. Not we consider states nothing like countries, but back in the day, they really considered each state its own country, but it was also united under one government.
Yep.
So yeah, basically we are a bunch of large or different sized countries melded into one federal government.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very, very, very different places with different people, different cultures, different languages. You know, because like even though we're pretty close to Louisiana, Louisiana culture is very different than Texas culture.
Mm-hmm. And there were entire sections of the nation that didn't have English as their primary language.
Mm-hmm. There's still some parts, not very many, but
yeah. But one of them was in Wisconsin. I think it was Wisconsin. Let me quickly double check. It was either Wisconsin or Michigan. I'm trying to remember where this one place is.
Like I know a lot of the Amish communities still don't really speak English.
In Michigan, there was a fairly good-sized town that is known as Frankenmuth, which it didn't start speaking English as its primary language until partway through World War II.
Mm-hmm.
All its schools were in German until partway through World War II. And the only reason that they changed to speak English is because it was partway through World War II and speaking German not really a good look at that time.
Yeah. I know a lot of the Amish communities still speak strictly like German.
Yep. They speak their own variation of German because it isn't the same as German. It's now known as Pennsylvania Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a German language. It's just not
the one they speak in Germany right now.
Yeah, it's not the German language of Germany. It's
and Louisiana has several different, like Creole and stuff.
Oh yeah, they have Creole, which is all kinds of fucked up.
I love Creole though.
Their language is indecipherable.
I love it. I love it. Like I said, I have a lot of people from Louisiana moved to Texas, you know, during hurricanes and all kinds of shit. And like I said, I used to have one guy friend whose whole family spoke Creole, but he also spoke English, and he mostly spoke English. But if you got him pissed off, he would just start screaming in it. So I used to, you know, purposely annoy the fuck out of him.
To get some of those arguments out of him?
Yeah, because I loved when he would just start ranting in it.
And for people that don't know, do you want to explain what Creole is, or shall I?
Oh, you can. I'm not good at the talking today.
Creole is a language that is a combination of, 4 different languages?
Yeah, I know French is a big one.
So, Creole is a combination of French, a number of Bantu languages, a smattering of some English.
There's a little bit of Spanish in there.
Some Spanish, and then what other language was it? There's one other language group that jumps in as well.
I know that the English words pop in, but I don't know if that was original or if it just happens now.
Oh, yeah. It now does include some English. Oh, and Portuguese.
Yeah.
It includes some Portuguese. So it is a mixture of a shit ton of different African languages, French, English,
some native words too,
Portuguese, some native tongues. It is this ridiculous clusterfuck.
I love it. It's like, you know, they say America is a melting pot. No, Louisiana is a melting pot. They literally just mashed everything together.
Is it a melting pot or is it a gumbo? Oh.
Yeah.
I really wish that people would, or that it wasn't the phrase started as America's a melting pot. I wish that it started as America was a crucible. Because a melting pot just kind of keeps everything that goes in, it just kind of melts it down into a homogeneous thing.
Yeah, which is not totally accurate.
Yeah, we're more of a crucible. Because you come to the U.S., if you have something that is amazing from your culture, we'll fucking steal it. It'll become part of ours. Fuck you. It's now part of our culture.
I would just say we would like to include it, not steal it. But yeah, okay.
Thank you for the new inclusion.
All right, like beignets and yeah.
Yeah, we will happily acquire food. We will happily acquire positive aspects of different cultures.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that is undeclared but heavily implied, which is if you have a shitty aspect of your culture, leave that shit at the border.
Yeah.
Oh, but in my culture, it's okay to beat our women. No, it's not here. So that gets to stay where you came from. We'll accept you, we'll accept your food, we'll accept everything like that, but if it's something fucked up, yeah, it's going.
Oh, that's a big issue here in Texas. We have a lot of immigration from, and everyone assumes it's just from Mexico. No, we have a lot from everywhere.
Yep.
We have huge, like, especially like the cities that I live around. We are known for being like the most, what's the word? We have a lot of different cultures. Like, we have like Buddhist temples, mosques, all kinds of stuff. Like every religious center you have, I have in my city. Like, it's very big on that. But we have some guys who will come here with that very, women are supposed to be submissive and stuff, and we're Texas. And so, like, they'll try to get with the women here and, like, start like a dominant struggle with them, and it does not turn out well.
How does one submissively slap the shit out of someone?
Usually with a 2x4.
Yep.
And I'm not playing. We have a lot of people getting hit upside the head with 2x4s.
Yep, I think it was either that or a cast iron pan.
Oh yeah, that happens too.
Pretty good too.
I've done that.
With a pan?
The cast iron pan, yeah.
Holy shit.
Back when I was an EMT for one of the companies that I worked at, we transported a lot of psych patients. And we transported a lot of psych patients that could get violent. And the company, for some reason, never really grokked to the fact that maybe sending the 105-pound of soaking wet girl on a psych run where the patient is 240 plus is a bad idea. So it became a thing among a bunch of the EMTs. There was a difference between administering oxygen and administering O2 therapy. So administering oxygen is the normal nasal cannula or non-rebreather. Hook it up to the O2 line, let them go. Administering O2 therapy was they tried to attack you and their head met the O2 cylinder.
Yep. It's funny though, because those guys will be very, like, in Texas we will be submissive. Like, I mean, pretty much I am about as submissive as you can get for Chris, because like he pretty much runs everything, but he has me make most of the decisions, which is funny. But we will be, but you got to be respectful about it, because I told him when he asked me to be a housewife, I was like, I will do it, but here are my terms. And one of them was, if you throw it in my face once or you get disrespectful once, I'm going back to work.
Yep.
Like, in Texas, we will do it for certain people, but you better be respectful about it. Now, if you start raising hands or voices or something, you're going to the hospital. That's pretty much how most Texan women are. Like, we are picky about who we're submissive to, and if you treat us bad, they might find your body.
They'll be meek and submissive and lovely, adorable wife, as long as you treat them with respect. If you do, fantastic. That continues. If you don't, there's some consequences now.
Yeah, if you consider submissive like being beaten down or, like not talking, not giving your opinion, that kind of shit, no, that's not going to work here.
But
That does not work here.
get the okay when we're having an issue going on and it's something that we're out in public. If you have a problem, pull me over to the side rather than just going, oh no, that isn't the way that we're doing that. Fuck you. No, it's kind of like the EMS contradictions where you don't contradict the person in front of the patient. You pull them over to the side and you go, hey, this is what I think. And if they still make a decision, then you go, okay, I've had my say.
Yeah. There's a way to like respectfully do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Just don't show disrespect to each other. Because I do the same thing for women who are acting like that. That's an issue too. You don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Always be respectful, especially in public. When you're in a relationship, that's the only way to have a good relationship. If you're bringing other people into your issues, or you're starting scenes, or embarrassing people or putting down people, and that's a bad relationship automatically. You should not be in it.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think a lot of people just should not be in relationships. There's been a lot of people out. My advice is, why don't you just have flings? I don't think you should be in a relationship. Promiscuous lifestyles are good for some people.
Yeah, different people work in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that piss me off are the ones that feel like they should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, but
the other person can't.
Their partner has to be held on a leash.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I got in an argument recently on TikTok about that, and people don't like what I have to say on it because, it's one of those red pill podcast things that they show clips on. Mm-hmm. And it's the argument that body counts for women, but women don't care about men's. And I'm like, there's a lot of women who do care.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't date you because of that, or they won't get married to you because of that. And they love to argue, yes, they will, all women, da, da, da. And I'm like, no, there are a lot of them who, like, my opinion on it is you should stay in your range. So, like, virgins, or like up to 2 maybe. And then after 1, it's like to 10. Because, like, if your sexual experience is very different, your opinions on it are going to be different, and your beliefs in it are going to be different, and it doesn't really work out. Like, in the long run, in relationships, it doesn't really work out that well. I mean, I'm sure there are some that have, but from what I've noticed, no. Like, your opinions are just too different, and your beliefs are too different, and the way you view sex is too different.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people seem to overstate the difference because, yeah, there are absolutely women that will look at men and they'll hear that, oh yeah, he's slept with 20 plus people, and they'll go, that guy's a fucking pig. Not
it's just high risk too. It's high risk too, because like STDs or cheating or running out on you with someone else. It just is.
But given that it is more common among women to do what is it called? It's something like the poaching mate selection style.
Yeah, the women choose the men based off of how many other women want them.
Yep. I can understand if someone says, as a whole, it is less important to women than it is to men. Yep, that's a valid statement.
Yeah, and another thing I like to point out when people bring that up is, okay, other women wanting you and not getting to have you is a lot more attractive than you just being easy and plowing everybody that walks up to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not attractive. That just makes you easy, and that's not attractive to everybody.
Yep.
Like, if anyone can get you, it's not as sexy. Now, if a bunch of women want you and they can't have you, but I can, that's sexy.
Mm-hmm. Which,
there's a big difference.
A lot of people seem to overstate what they at least seem, if taken in the most charitable fashion, to mean when it comes to that, because you'll have the people that say, oh yeah, men don't want you unless you're a virgin. No, there's men that will. There's men that won't. Now, the more people that you've tacked on, the less likely it is that the average guy will want someone.
Yeah, there's porn stars that are married and have kids now. Like, you know, I hate the hive mind mentality. You got, but men get really insulted when you say some women aren't going to want you, even if you want them, because of this. They're like, no, and I'm like, yeah. If you tell a woman I've slept with like 200 people, there are going to be quite a few that are like, ew. And that's okay. She cannot want to be with you. That's fine. Not everybody's gonna want to be with you. That not humans aren't meant to want to have sex with everybody on the planet. I mean, I'm sure there's some that do, but it's okay for some women to not want. The way I explained it is, it's a lifestyle choice, which is fine. Everybody can choose their own lifestyle, but that also means there's some people you're gonna want to be with that don't fit into that lifestyle. And also the one, like you said, the ones who are all like, you know, men can cheat, but women can't. Like it's okay for men to cheat, but when women do it, it's a big deal. And it's like, no, it's a big deal when anyone does it, sir. It's still backstabbing and bad and not a good for a relationship.
Fucked up for anyone to do it.
Yeah, and you know, people are always like, but it's okay when I do the bad thing. It's not okay when people do the bad thing to me.
Yeah, no, it's not okay either way. And again, it's something that people seem to be overstating a lot of the time. And that's where a lot of the shit comes in. Where they'll take something that might be true of a chunk of the population, and they'll go, well, this is true for everyone. No. Even if it's true for the majority of a population, it's not true for everyone. Otherwise, it would be true for everyone, not just the majority.
Yeah, I got told today that women are basically a hive mind. Most women are a hive mind. And I'm like, no humans are in a hive mind. We all have different perceptions and experiences in life, so we all literally think differently. We might have things in common, but that doesn't mean anybody thinks the exact same way as another person. It's just, it's frustrating.
And while you could get some traction if you, instead of saying they are a hive mind, said that there's been more done to try to homogenize the opinions of women.
Yeah.
That might be true. It might not be true, but at least that's more accurate than they're a hive mind.
You're right. Because no, I'm pretty sure I'm still, you know, female, and no, I don't agree with anything this man was saying. Like, I even have a general rule that I raised all the girls around me to believe: you don't date really promiscuous people if you're not a promiscuous person, and don't date rich people.
Yeah,
stay away from both of those.
The thing about promiscuous people is, if they are inclined towards promiscuity, the chance of them being completely faithful goes down.
Well, it's not even just that. You hear a lot where, like, people make jokes about, like, you know, doing sexual favors is like a handshake for some people, and for some people it's like it's a meaningful special thing. Like, if you get someone who's like, this is like just something I do on a regular basis with people, with someone who's like, you know, this is really special and meaningful, it doesn't work out, you know, because you have two very different ideas of what's going on.
Okay, well,
like I said,
looking at that, now we're talking about the numbers of people who, and this is a three-way split at this point. This is the people who want a meaningful relationship, and they're not going out there, quote unquote, exploring. And then there's the people who, you know, I guess, go all out and say, hey, you know, we're just out here doing this, and then eventually I'll get to where I want. And then there's the people in between, and
Well, I think most people are kind of in the between, where you've had experience, but it's not like a daily thing or a weekly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're still at the same end. They all don't know what they want. I mean, all through.
I wouldn't.
What do you mean by what they want?
Yeah, I was going to pretty much go in the same direction, because I think a lot of them know what they want, just aren't being honest about what the person that they want would want.
Well, come on, then that's what they don't know what they want.
But
Well,
like,
no,
what do
that
you
is-
mean by that? Like,
Well,
can you
okay.
explain more?
Yeah, because okay, if you're gonna say they don't know what they want, or they know what they want, but they don't know what the partner they want, then that falls in the same category because
Well, no.
they
What I said was they know what they want. They don't know what the partner that they want wants.
for
which
sure.
is different.
And
Because you can have someone that knows that they want a traditional woman, but then they're a complete manho. And a traditional woman probably isn't going to be interested in the manho. So they end up having their actions go cross-purpose to their desires. Then you have women that want someone that has all these traits of a traditional man, but they want them to be okay with the fact that she's slept through her school. And again, this doesn't mesh. And then you'll have some people that they want someone kind of promiscuous, but the way that they go about things also doesn't mesh with that. So you have people that know what they want. They know, I want a partner that has X, Y, Z.
But they're not living the lifestyle to get those people.
Yeah, they aren't living the lifestyle to get those people because they aren't thinking, okay, this is the sort of partner I want. What sort of partner does the partner that I want? Let me be that sort of partner. Which is what I'm saying. They know what they want. Now, a lot of people aren't honest about what they want. That I will completely agree to, because you'll have a lot of people that will say that, oh, looks don't matter. I just care about personality. But they will also outright refuse anyone that they go, well, I don't like the look of him. Well, you said looks don't matter. Do you not like the look of him, or do you think that looks don't matter? Because those are mutually exclusive. You have people that will be dishonest about what they want, but I think almost everyone knows what they want. They just aren't being honest about it, and or they don't know what the person that they want wants. That's where I would think the vast majority of people go.
I was just asking what you meant by that for more clarification, because, like, I don't know where you were going with it.
Oh no, I just figured it was it wasn't.
Like, do you mean what they want in a partner, or what they want in a general sense?
Well, I mean, even with that, I think it's split. I think people who are looking for a partner are, they're lying to themselves, and they're also not accepting the reality of the choices they've made, and also, for some reason, people tend to mix that with the hookup culture, and I think you need to totally separate that from everything if you're gonna look into like relationship type stuff, because hookup culture is hookup culture. These people are looking for one thing and one thing only. That's what they're doing. But in terms of people looking for a partner, no, I don't think you can negate the past, because it's eventually going to be brought up. You will run across it eventually. So I mean, that's where it's like, okay, just
Sorry, Rotten Corpse made me laugh. I wasn't laughing at what you said, I swear.
Oh no.
What did Rotten say?
I have it on good authority. The women really want a zigga zigga. Like the Spice Girl song. As that made me giggle. They also say that men do judge other men for high body counts. That's another thing. Like, a lot of these guys on the red pill side of things are like, that's how you're seen as important as for like how many women you can sleep with. And I'm like, no, Chris pretty much does the same thing. He's like, ew. If a man's over here like, I've slept with 1,000 women, he's like, how has your penis not fallen off yet?
Well, okay, hold on. In terms of that, I can't dismiss there's women out there like the recent video going around where the lady was like, oh yeah, I slept with 300 dudes. I'm gonna try and get 365 this year or some shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, well, yeah, of course there's gonna be the opposite end. There's gonna be dudes that are going out there like, oh yeah, I'm fucking 8 different girls fucking a day, whatever the fuck they're doing, and they're boasting about it. But yeah, you're right. Not a lot of guys are sitting out there like, yeah, like we're not singing praises to Gaston for this shit.
Man, Magic Johnson was a stud for fucking the number of women that he did. Yeah, that isn't really an argument that most people make.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm sure there's some that do, but like,
no, I'm sure there are some toadies out there that are fucking sitting there like, yeah, dude, you slayed all of them.
Seems like a frat bro thing.
Yeah, but come on, dude, that's Animal House shit. How fucking old are you? Like what the fuck are you? Like that shit does not happen anymore. Like we were making fun of it in the 90s.
Yeah.
like
I mean, like honestly, I've never really had. I mean, it has come up in conversations with friends occasionally, but it's not something we talk about a shit ton. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, guy friends or girlfriends, like it's not a conversation talking about your past sexual shit. Like maybe the stuff you're having now, but like bragging about like how low your number is or how high your number is isn't something that really comes up in conversation a whole lot. Really? I don't know about y'all, but
I'm personally far more impressed if someone has a low number but high quality. So they found the person that they're madly in love with, and they've just slept with them. That's something to brag about. If it's the person's just been fucking everyone, that's okay, yeah, you're desirable, it seems. But that's just fucking weird.
It's a weird conversation to have with people, honestly. Yeah. But
again, this is why it's weird. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't really, unless it's like, yeah, I fucked this lady who was super important at this point in time, and yeah, it's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, who is sitting there?
Even then, it isn't that they fucked someone important. Like, no one's high-fiving Angela Merkel's husband or boyfriend or whatever the fuck she has.
No, dude, they were celebrating Kamala Harris. Oh shit! I'm gonna get a knock on the door.
Goddamn.
But like, I don't know. It's the red pill guys are really just selling a lifestyle that I don't even know they fully live. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we have so much money, we got so much bitches, we got all this stuff, and then you know they have all these things coming out, like that guy. They're always saying never date Instagram models or stuff, and then that guy's like, he knocked up an Instagram model.
The one who knocked up not an Instagram model, someone who was effectively a prostitute.
And it's just, well, she does Instagram modeling too, but yeah. She does the other stuff too. Or OF girls. I mean, they've also come out like, with the girls they're yelling at on thing. They're like, why are you even here? And she's like, because I met you on a sugar baby website and you couldn't afford me. And then you offered me on the show.
Well, hold on. The fact that they're filming this shit and showcasing it shows how low level they are. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be realistic. A lot of these women, and even more women who you don't even hear their names, they're going hanging out at yachts at super rich people in different countries that we don't mention. And they're doing
the
shit.
Saudi Arabia
Oh,
story.
I didn't say it. You, but
I said it.
they're doing shit for shit tons of money that these people couldn't afford. So let's not joke ourselves. Like these people are sitting there like, oh yeah, look at my Lamborghini. It's like, yeah, dude, this dude has a spaceship. I don't know, and he's not flaunting it. So this, oh yeah, I got this lady. It's like, yeah, you paid her a chunk of money to hang
Yeah.
out, and she
Oh,
is
that is
accepting a good
definitely a
chunk of
thing.
money to hang out with you. Like,
Because
who
like
are
later
these?
girls will come out and say like those pictures they posted, they paid us to go on this boat with them, or they paid us to be at this party with them. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is definitely a thing. And it's just funny because they're selling this like, look at the lifestyle I'm living. You could be living this lifestyle too if you listen to me. But it's literally just selling it. It's a product. It's not like something they're
You
actually
are
doing.
supporting him.
It's the shit that I've talked about when I was talking about offenders when I was working at the correctional facility. There's a difference between someone who's actually masculine and someone who's trying to act like what they've been told masculinity is. That's a massive fucking difference. And it's a massive fucking difference that people don't seem to understand. The most masculine guy is not the one who's the most likely to jump into a fight.
No,
If you're using the fight as a measure of masculinity, the most masculine guy is probably the one that is the least likely to jump into the fight. But
Yeah.
when he is forced into a fight, it isn't a fight anymore.
hold on.
Yeah,
No,
that's like
the most masculine person to jump in the fight is the one who says, crush your enemies and watch the limitation of the women and all that shit. That's
what I'm saying. It's the guy who, the moment that they jump, that they're forced into the fight, it isn't a fight.
yeah. That reminds me of
when
Chris
you're dealing with
because
someone far more masculine than someone who's constantly going, "Oh, I'll kick your ass, I'll do this, that, and the other." No, those people, they're bullshit artists.
that reminds me of Chris because he's very, very chill most of the time, and if he has to get in an altercation, he's more of a restrained person. Like, I'm not playing. One time I woke up, we had these neighbors next door us. They were our friends, but they were crazy, and they got in a lot of fights with people and stuff. I woke up, opened the door to go smoke, and Chris is carrying one of the grown-ass men into his apartment. Like, he just picked him up, bear hugged him, and walked off with him.
Yeah.
And this is a very dangerous dude. Like he's someone everyone's scared of. Chris just lifted him up and walked away with him, like, do. And I'm like, was that Chris? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, was he carrying? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And it was Chris saw a fight coming and he just went, nope, and picked up the crazy dude and walked off with him and then blocked the door so he couldn't get back outside. And that's what Chris does most of the time because he knows, like, play fighting when he was younger, that he can actually really hurt people because he's a really big dude.
Yeah.
So he just restrains everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of like, this is going to sound self-aggrandizing, sorry about that, but I absolutely fucking hate getting into fights.
Yeah.
And the reason why I hate getting into fights is when I'm in a fight, I really love being in a fight.
A little too aggressive once you're in it.
Oh yeah, there's one of the friends that I made ages ago. I was at a party with my best friend. It was just a small party. It was a gathering of mainly people that he knew and some additional people that some of his friends knew. So I was there. One of his friends gets absolutely ragingly drunk. And he's an angry drunk. So he starts trying to pick fights with everyone. He comes up and starts trying to pick fights with my best friend. I kind of get in between them and I go, hey, let's calm down. And he tries to get in a fight with me and I'm still trying to get the fight mood kind of calmed down. Then he decides to actually have a go at me. So I go to grapple him. And it just keeps on going back and forth where I go to grapple him, he slips out, he goes to hit me, I go to grapple him, he slips out, goes to hit me, I go to grapple him. What I didn't know is this guy had apparently trained in several different martial arts. And as the kind of bout between us, where the entire time I'm just trying to restrain him to calm him down, or to force him to not do anything until he calms down, more accurately, he just keeps on getting a little bit more sober and a lot more mad, until he hits the point where he's sober enough to actually be able to do something and mad enough to give it a go. At which point, as I go to restrain him, he slips the restraint again, grabs my right arm with both of his arms, pulls it straight, and then as I'm standing up, he kind of jumps and slaps his legs around my fucking arm and torso. So he has me in an arm bar, causing me to fall down. Because forearms reach weight like that, it's difficult to remain standing. So I fall down. He starts immediately wrenching back with his entire body, trying to break my arm. At this point, my best friend, who is still watching this, has told me that I go, "Oh, so it's a fight then." In that kind of woo tone that I just did, sounding slightly excited, as I proceed to, as he's hauling with his entire body, tense up my right arm, bicep curl against him and slam him into the ground, bicep curl, slam him, bicep curl, slam him, bicep curl, realize I can stand up with this amount of weight, prop the arm that he's trying to pull out and break with my other arm as I get up to my feet, cock my body back, lifting him above my chest, and then roll as hard as I can towards that side, slamming him into the ground. He goes limp after that slam, because being picked up so that your head is about 6-7 feet above the ground, probably more, and then suddenly being thrown into the ground with a 300-pound man driving you into the ground kind of hurts like hell. At which point I picked him up, wrapped him up, and just kept on squeezing until he kind of focused enough for me to ask if he was done fighting. That's the sort of shit that's someone who's actually capable of dealing with their shit when they don't want to fight, but when the fight happens and when they're forced into it, the fight isn't a fight anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think you and Chris are about the same size. Haven't we talked about that before? Yeah, you're both
giants.
Yeah. Well, see, Chris gets annoyed if I call him a giant, especially seeing that he met my other guy family members, because they were like the first ones he had to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually he's looking down at people. So like when he met my uncle and had to look up to see his face, he was like, "What the?" I grew up around a lot of like my grandfather that wasn't around much, but he was 7'2".
God damn.
My uncle, David, the one I was talking about that Chris had to look up to, he was 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
And my stepdad was 6'5". He was the short one in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, meeting guys that you can look eye to eye to or actually have to look up to is weird for already really tall guys.
Yeah.
So, but he's like, "I'm not a giant. I'm not that big." And I'm like, "I don't think you realize how big you are to like average size people. Like when they see you coming up, they're like, oh shit." Because he's not even that he's just tall. He's not a lanky guy either. Like he's a big muscular dude. So, because Angel's boyfriend is a little bit taller than Chris, but like Chris can just easily pick up a transmission with one hand and walk around with it, and then like,
It's kind of like Adam. Do you remember who it was? Was it Skeptalk that said shaking my hand is an experience because it's a hand, but it isn't a hand?
Yeah, Chris's hand covers my entire head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
My
what you mean.
pinky finger. So, do you happen to know what the average wedding band size for a man's
No.
or for a man is? It is a 10.5 to 11. And technically, if you're going for the complete average range, it's between 10 to 11. My pinky is an 11. So my pinky is the size of an average man's ring finger.
Yeah, so you really do need to not be a fighting person.
Yeah. I was told.
Same thing for Chris.
I was told very early on by my group of friends when I was in high school I wasn't allowed to play hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told by football players I wasn't allowed to play hit.
Yeah, there's something weird and genetic with some of the guys where they're just, you're big and you're too strong, and yeah, you're not allowed to play fight.
I was completely banned from play fighting, and I was the person that when I was playing football, my teammates would always go, okay, only go half speed. Don't hit me for serious. Only go half speed. And even then they're going, you hit like a fucking truck.
Yeah, because even my ex-husband, he was only 6 foot, but he built like a barrel, I guess, because like he would play fight with his guy friends. He accidentally went through a wall with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, we're not allowed to play fight in the house anymore. My mom's really mad.
Oh, I think I told you about this thing that happened to me. When I was in high school, I think I was in 10th grade.
One time with a guy, and I broke
one of my...
Yeah. Are you okay with me telling him that?
No, I don't care. It was like
Sorry, Chris is in here now. He got out of the shower. He
Not a
was
problem.
saying he figured out, like, he's told me the story before. He figured out he can't play fight with people way back in the day because he was play fighting outside of school, and it wasn't even a full on punch. It was just a play fight punch, He broke a guy's tooth.
Yeah, I ended up, giving birthday punches to your friends.
Yeah.
I was giving birthday punches to one of my friends, and I sent him into a locker. Which was, again, one of those, I can't play fight.
Yeah. Dude, like I've said, I'm big for a chick. I learned a long time ago I can't play fight with a lot of people because because of my genetics and the extra testosterone and stuff. I don't play fight like most women do, and the guys didn't want to play fight with me because they didn't want to be too rough. So play fighting wasn't a part of my life growing up.
Yeah, I think you've heard this story before, Poppy. Do you remember when I told the story about accidentally putting my hand through an old solid wood dresser?
Yes, because we were talking about my niece and nephew tore down an old solid dresser, and you're like, that's hard to do. And then you told me the story about your hand through it.
Just punching through it because the fucking sledgehammer broke. Yeah. For the long and short, for those who haven't heard the story, was one of my friends when I was in probably 10th grade. His grandmother, who is a complete hoarder, ended up passing away suddenly. So his family started asking some of us that were friends with him if we would be willing to help out and clear out her home. Get rid of all the extra shit that she had just stacked up around the place. So my best friend and I, and then this friend, all went, yep, we'll help out. There was a large solid wood dresser, and all of us enjoyed using the sledgehammer to break shit down when it was too damaged to sell. And this one, it had fucked up legs. It wasn't going to be able to be sold, and it would have cost too much to rehab it in order to sell it. So it was put into the pile of, we get to break this shit. So we had a sledgehammer that we were trading back and forth. I get this dresser in front of me, and I grab the sledgehammer. And normally, I grab sledgehammers and shit like that, southpaw apparently, because my left hand is my drop hand, my right hand is the base hand. This time I grabbed it standard with my right hand as the drop hand. So I raised the sledgehammer and I slammed it down into the dresser. The head snapped off, went spinning off, as my hand, which my right hand was the one that was supposed to be a drop hand. I had never used my right hand as a drop hand, so my right hand did not drop. It just slammed into the wood of the dresser, broke through, and continued down. Ended up taking a shard of wood and took off a chunk of the skin on the side of my finger, which I had to tack back down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of regret the people, like the person I decided to have kids with. Because, like, seriously, like I said, like the kids in our family are insanely weird. Like, they tore apart a really old, you know how sturdy those old dressers are, obviously.
Yep.
They tore apart that. They've torn down an entire wall in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, carried around those big folding doors, like, above their heads when they were, like, 3. Like, our kids did some really weird, random shit that, like, I was like, I don't think adults can do that. What the fuck? Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Quit being, especially the boy. It's like, quit being, like, a tiny Superman, and don't beat up the adults, please.
Yep. It's like the first time that I ripped a phone book in half out of curiosity. I was in 8th grade, and you know how most people rip phone books, they rip from the pages, right?
Yeah.
I decided to rip from the spine, and I succeeded in ripping from the spine. The reason why most people rip from the pages is you can arch the book just right, so you're tearing one piece of paper at a time.
Yeah.
So it looks impressive, but it isn't really that impressive. When you tear from the spine, there's no way of doing that, so you're just breaking the book and then ripping in half.
Yep. Like, you know, when most people, like, watch out when you do have kids, if you don't already. I don't know your personal life, but, like,
I do
you
not
don't
as
have to
of
work.
yet, but hopefully it's someday.
Yeah, when you do have kids, like, watch out for that shit, because it is genetic. And like I said, most people worry about, like, their kids rubbing poop on the wall or coloring on the wall or, you know, getting food everywhere. We walked into a room and the 4 kids had torn down half a wall.
Yep.
They were like, it's made out of chalk. You can draw with it. I'm like, oh my fucking God. They weren't even in there that long. It's like, how did you tear down the whole bottom half of the wall?
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, it was easy. He punched a hole in it and we just started tearing it apart. And I'm just like, Jesus fuck.
Yeah,
or like tearing apart furniture, tearing apart doors. Like, my kids, you do not know how many times they have accidentally taken doors off the hinges.
Oh yeah, I've accidentally broken 4 elevators.
Yeah, that's happened too. My Willow, I love to death. It was so funny when she was like, I don't know, 13, 14. She was running to get into her aunt's house, and she forgot to turn the knob when she slammed into the door. So her head hit the door, and she broke the doorknob and everything. Like not the hinge part of the door, but the other side where everything latches. Yeah, that totally broke. Chris had to go and buy new stuff to go fix it.
Oh,
Yep.
And it was with her head.
Yeah. I've always just had
like the new doorknob and the thing that goes.
Oh, that's because she body slammed it, not her head.
No, it was her head. Her head hit first, and then the rest of her body slammed into it after.
Fucking liar! Then she told me she body slammed.
Well, her head hit first, then her body hit after, but the door already started breaking when she head slammed. I was there. I watched it happen. It was impressive that her nose didn't break.
Yeah, and shit like that was common for me as well, because I had the time that I ended up injuring a guy's knee playing Fumble Rumble. Only at the time, it was not known as Fumble Rumble where I was playing it. It has a different name. That different name would probably get us in trouble from YouTube.
Good lord.
Because the first word is smear and the second word rhymes.
Oh.
Or rather, the third word, because it's smear the and then it rhymes.
Yeah, it definitely probably get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Or at least, cause Hammer some issues with targeting stuff.
Yep. But yeah, what happened was playing that after school with a bunch of other football players, and one guy gets the ball. He decides that he's just going to try to truck me. It was a poor choice for him. His knee slammed into my nose and lip as I just wrapped his legs and slammed the back of them, driving him into the ground.
Yeah.
I get up.
Also,
I just had... Okay.
Oh, no. You can keep going.
I get up. I just had a knee slammed into my nose from an actual football running back. So my nose is bleeding a little bit. And I also had braces at the time, so my inner lip was a bit cut up from the braces hitting it. But otherwise, I was completely fine. Everyone notices the blood coming out of my nose and starts going, oh, you need to go see the trainer. You need to make sure that you're okay. So the guy who I had hit at this point has gotten back up to his feet a bit after I did. And he goes, oh, I'll show him to the trainer. You guys continue playing. I'll take him to the trainer. And he hobbles over to me, puts an arm around me, and I immediately feel his weight just drop on my shoulder as we start walking to the trainer. So the trainer checks me out when we first walk in, because blood on face, that's a very clear sign that there was some sort of injury. They go, oh, you just have a bloody nose. Here, shove this paper towel up your nose, and oh, your lip's a little bit cut up. Just make sure that you gargle with mouthwash for the next few days so you don't get an infection. And she was about to tell us both to leave, then she noticed that the other guy had been limping. Had him get up on the table. Yeah, I'd fucked up his knee with my nose.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, my niece and nephew, they're just very strong for how small they are and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My kids had a double thing because Dad was built like a barrel, very muscular, but I had the weird being very flexible, like agility thing. So we got one that can accidentally take doors off trying to open them, and then we have the other one. When she was a child, she was difficult because she was a climber.
Mm-hmm.
So we would find her like in the corners of the rooms, like Spider-Man, or up in the closet, or like I've told the story about when she was one on top of the refrigerator throwing cookies at me. Like she's the one that would like just get in the weirdest spots possible and get stuck and not be able to get down or get out, or like, I found her balled up in tiny holes that make no sense, and I'm like, that's the size of your head. How did you fit in there? I just or like, you cannot hide shit from this child because no matter how high you put it up, she got it. So like, yeah, watch who you have kids with. You might end up with a super strong kid that can do weird shit like climb up walls.
Oh yeah, it was a running joke with my best friend that if I end up passing before he does, he knows exactly what's going to happen at my funeral, because it's going to be whatever progeny I end up having are going to drink every motherfucker at the party under the table.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pick up everyone and carry them to their respective rooms.
But yeah. No, everybody's always like, don't you miss when your kids were little? No. I love my kids now that they're older. I loved them when they were younger, but Jesus Christ, like weekly, there was something happening where I was just like, oh, that's going to cost a lot of money. Oh, no. Or, oh, no, the apartments are going to be mad at us. They also had no fear because the TISM thing. So like Willow's trying to jump out of third story windows and shit, and I'm just like, oh my god. So they're not afraid of heights. They're not afraid of getting hurt. They're just like, okay, this seems fun. Let's stick my hand on the burner.
Yeah, one of the times that it became clear to my mother that cold doesn't affect me really was I was 6 or 7, and my best friend at the time, my brother and I were all having a massive snowball fight, and then my best friend and I got the better of my brother. My brother got pissed off, and I'd gone inside. I'd taken off my winter coat. Brother came pissed off, came charging in at me. I booked it just because he was 5 years older than me at the time. So he was 11, fair bit bigger. Not as big as he should have been. No, when I was 6 and 7, I was really small. So he was a hell of a lot bigger at that time. I end up charging off into the snow-strewn landscape without winter coat, without anything like that. And I was perfectly fine just outside in the elements for several hours in a long-sleeve shirt and a pair of pants.
Yeah.
No issue. But that was when my mom went, oh, did you feel cold at any point? No. Okay. But cold doesn't affect you, right, does it?
Yeah, like I said, I would much rather be cold than hot. Like hot, I will throw a fit over. Cold, I used to walk around. My cousins used to dare me to walk around like in my bathing suit out in the snow, and I would go do it. Like, okay, like that doesn't affect. Cold is fine. I can handle cold. It's getting hot that pisses me off.
Hot absolutely fucks me over to the point where my body, when it overheats for long enough to a sufficient degree, it will do just about anything to cool down. And when I say just about anything to cool down, what I really mean is it will try to exsanguinate me until I'm cold enough. Yeah.
Oh, dude, my heart will start racing real fast. I get dizzy. I can't think. I hate being hot. It could be 35 outside. I will try to stay warm because I know, frostbite probably sucks. But it doesn't bother me that much. I think genetically we probably should have been in the very northern regions.
Oh yeah, and for me, it's the temperature regulation part of my brain was just always on the fritz.
Yeah.
When I was really little, I had febrile seizures any time that I got sick. And 4 of them were bad enough that they did a complete hard reset on my body. And when I say complete hard reset, heart rate stopped, breathing stopped, brain function ceased for a moment, and then my body would suddenly surge back to life.
Yeah. Dude, you said you have the temperature regulation issues. Do you ever have it just like where for no reason you're burning up or for no reason you start freezing? Because I do that sometimes.
I'm burning up for almost no reason. I've never had
like you're having a hot flash.
I'm freezing for no reason. But
I do both, and I'll do them on the same day, and it's annoying as fuck.
See, if I ever get cold, like entirely physically cold, I know that I am horrendously ill. Because the only times that I've been cold are when I had dehydration to the point where I needed to get over a full liter put into me, and I was still pissing brown, or rather I say still pissing brown. I had just started to be able to piss again, and I was pissing brown. And when I say pissing brown, I don't mean a deep gold. I don't mean a deep brownish yellow. I mean damn near muscle failure brown.
Yeah. No, but when I mean like Like it's not literally like I just feel it. Like if you take my temperature, it will be like really low. It used to freak out the guys at work because during COVID you had to take temperatures, and the more I was moving around, all of a sudden it would show up at like 95.6, and they're like, and I'm just like, yeah, that happens sometimes. Let me go put on a blanket.
Oh, the lowest body temp that I've ever registered was I had been dead for several hours, given my body temperature, if you pop it into the Glastonbury calculation.
Yeah.
No, it's the Gloucester. Sorry, the Gloucester calculation. Because it's 9.8 minus current body temperature over 1.5.
Yeah.
And that gives you the amount of time that someone's been dead. And I popped in the 80s at one point.
Yeah. That's low. No, it used to freak out the guy who's taking my temperature, but he got used to mine always being lower than everybody else's. And then one day I was working an easy floor because the fourth floor is the one you didn't have to do a lot, so you're just sitting there a lot. Mm-hmm. And he came up and took my temperature, and it was like 98.0, and he's like, "Are you okay? Are you sick?" Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, "No, I'm just not moving." And he's like, "Wait, so like if you're still," I'm like, "If I'm still, it's usually in the 97 point somethings. If I'm running around, then my body doesn't know what to do with itself, and then it decides to freeze me for some reason. I don't know."
See, for me, the way that it works is if I'm active but I have the heat trapped, my body temp just absolutely skyrockets. If I am active but I can bleed the heat and it's cool enough outside of my body, then my body temperature dips. If I can bleed the heat and I'm stationary, then my temperature still runs a little bit low, but not ridiculously low. Normally, if I can bleed the heat, then I'm running at like 96, 97 something, rather than 98. Whereas if I'm, for instance, when we were dealing with the COVID shit, at one point I had to walk back home after walking in because I had walked in, it was the middle of winter, I had a weight vest on, so that was locking in heat, and then I had a coat over the weight vest because it was really fucking windy that night. Also, it was sub-zero temperatures at that particular night. When I got in, it popped at 102 body temp because I had an 80-pound weight vest and a coat holding in all my body heat.
Yeah, they should have thought about that.
Yeah, I was.
He checked you like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I was sent home for the day, and then I took the temperature like an hour after getting home, and my body temperature was back down to like 97.
Well, that makes sense. If you're all piled up with stuff to stay warm, then you're gonna be fucking warm. Like,
yeah, I was warm
because of
the weight vest, and I was warm because of the fucking. Goddamn, why am I blanking? Oh, overcoat. The coat that I was wearing for winter.
Yeah, that's what they're meant for. Yep. But I hate to be an ass, but Chris is getting ready for bed now, so I got to dip.
It is that time. We should go around the horn for parting words, and we can all just go.
No.
Okay. We're probably boring the hell out of Adam, so.
Whoa. I just didn't have
anything to contribute?
Well, yeah, I didn't have a means to. I was trying to find a way to edge in, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, me and him tend to go on rants about things.
Yeah, I'm not sure if edging would have helped get into the conversation at all. It kind of would have been a little bit awkward.
That was an odd choice of wordage. I admit. But yeah.
Well, all the blood had clearly rushed to a different area of the body.
He's so going to pick on you about this now. No, I get it. I use the wrong word sometimes too. It's fine. You're fine. No, I know me and Sanguine get into weird topics and then just talk bouncing off each other, and it makes it hard for anyone else to get in.
It's always a fun time though to chat.
Well, no, I mean, and it wasn't like I was bored.
Okay.
I was sitting here doodling and drawing, so I had a wonderful time with a soundtrack, so to speak.
Hmm.
All
It's
right.
the
So
perfect listening to it in the background while doing something else. It's interesting enough while also not being okay, I can't do anything because I have to hear every fucking word exactly when it was said and need to respond immediately.
Yeah,
now we're
and
just going off about mutants and children and body temperatures.
and I'm sitting here, I'm drawing this bit, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't know if I have anything to add to
Contribute.
this. I don't
Yeah.
know what the fuck. Shit.
Yeah.
But
But
since you're going to have to charge off the earliest, do you want to give your parting words, Poppy?
I never have these, I swear. Oh, thank you for having me, and I really appreciate it. I know I don't get on as much as I used to, but it is fun when I do. And so thank you for having me, and for chat, thank you for watching me.
It is always a good time, and I even have your name in the invite. You don't have to be nervous about it.
I know, I
Actually,
know.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, you do. You every Friday. You're the only one that does that too, so I appreciate that. Thank you. I just I've been busy lately, or just not feeling really great, so I tend not to get on if I'm in a mood or anything, or I don't feel good,
Fair
or
enough.
if dinner takes too long to make, because
Mm-hmm.
But
Doing the
like,
housefly thing.
yeah, if I'm cooking or cleaning and stuff, I don't want to be on and y'all listening to everything because Chris is always on his video games and they are loud.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for having me on, and I'm gonna go ahead and bounce now. But I'll try to see y'all again soon.
Have a good one, Adam.
Oh wow, she actually bounced out.
Yep.
Um,
She had to run off. Chris was going to sleep.
well, I always look forward to hanging out and chatting with you on Fridays, dude.
Mm-hmm. Always a fun time.
Yeah. Even if I, kind of hang out on the side while you guys have a conversation, it's still fun hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. If any of you want to hang out on Mondays, I'm gonna be at the arcade. You can find me there.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the zoo. But
Mm-hmm.
yep, same. We're all still family. We're all still friends.
Yep.
Oh, yep. But yeah, and yeah. Thanks for letting me hang out, Sanguine.
Always fun.
Hey, did you get
See,
those spices?
not yet.
Okay.
And I'll leave off with my standard of if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
Good night.
Now I click this button and it